Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. Have I got an eyeshadow palette ranking for you guys today? I'm going to be ranking all of the palettes that I tried summer of 2023. I realize that summer still has a few weeks left, but I think everything that is coming out is already making the transition from summer to fall. So a lot of these were summer releases, and I'm going back as far as like Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going back to like late May to right now, like the latest palettes that I've tried. I'm gonna rank them all for you. I have almost 40 palettes. That's a lot. That's a lot of palettes to try in 3 months. We'll see how fast we can get through this one. You might want to grab a drink and a snack in case it takes a while. I'm going to try and move as quickly as possible, but I will have my eyeshadow palette playlist linked in a pinned comment. That way you can check out my initial thoughts, reviews, tutorials over all of these eyeshadow palettes. And if I have any discount codes, affiliate codes, anything like that, they will all be in the description box, and I'll have it down below if I have a code with each particular palette slash brand. So if it is your first time here, I think you picked a very good video to start off with. Do me a favor, click on that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it. That way you can be notified every time I do drop a new video. And if you're a fan of eyeshadow palette ranking videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. I did film this look. You guys should be seeing this look go up probably the day after you watch this video, and it will go up as a YouTube short and also as an Instagram reel. Let's get started, guys. If you all want to see how my summer 2023 eyeshadow palettes ranked, keep on watching. Okay, so first up in the 37th spot, the Too Faced Cosmic Crush palette. So this is in cardboard packaging. We tend to see more of their tin packaging over their cardboard packaging, but they have been making the switch to cardboard packaging over the last, I would say, year and a half. This is what the color story looks like. I had high expectations for it, but already swatching it, getting it home, opening it up for the first time, it already felt like some of the shades had hard pan. Now, I've tried this palette a couple times off camera. I didn't get any better results. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And for the price tag of over $50, this is a definite pass unless you're just a diehard Too Faced fan. Get it on sale, wait for it to go to TJ Maxx because you know it will, and buy it that way. Don't you dare pay full price for that palette. Coming in at number 36, unfortunately, is the ABH Cosmos palette. Now, I realize this palette works for so many of you, and I'm so glad that it does. But for me, this palette initially arrived broken, and you can see my broken shadow. They sent me a replacement, and that palette also arrived broken. I donated, or I gave my palette away to one of my friends here locally, and then I kept the original because I had already used it. You know, this new formula from ABH has really been hit or miss for me. I haven't had a good experience with it, but if it is working for you, I am so happy. I am so happy it's working for you. I'm gonna stick with the larger Norvina palettes. For me, those are always a winner. Coming in the number 35 spot, we see Too Faced again, and this one is actually pretty decent, especially when compared to Cosmic Crush. I mean, I would 9 out of 10 times go with this palette. This is part of their collaboration. There were 2 different palettes from the Pop-Tarts, and this is the one I went with. Is this Strawberry Pop-Tart? Yeah, Frosted Strawberry. I like this palette, but there's no real shimmer in this palette. These are more like satin shades. So for me, that I like a little bit of a sparkle, I would definitely have to bring in my special multi-chromes, duochromes, or just more impactful shimmers from other palettes. I think if you're looking for a color story like this and you don't really want a lot of the glitzy, glamour, sparkly stuff, then this is a pretty decent palette. I got mine on Ulta Beauty. It could already be on sale. Again, I would wait for a sale on this one, but this is travel friendly. There's 8 shades, and if this is your color story, it's not a bad one. Actually, it's all of these, I would say from this on, are going to be pretty decent. It's just going to be a matter of, you know, maybe expectations I had for the palette as far as color stories went or how things blended out. It's going to be more along the line of my personal preference and not necessarily that any of the rest of the palettes just didn't perform well, because all of the palettes I'm going to be mentioning from here on out performed really well. It's just going to be more of like a color story thing. So coming in at number 34 is the Big Ego palette from Tarte. This was released about, I would say, a month ago. It's a cute little 6-pan palette. Performs great. If these are shadows that you wear on the daily, or you just like the purple and the pink together, this is a solid little palette. You can do something neutral at the top, something more colorful at the bottom, mix and match them if you want. Quality is there. It has a nice scent to it, like that cocoa powder scent to it. You do get a mirror. I mean, the compact is nice. I like the marble packaging. I think they did a cute job. These are shades that you can find in the larger Big Ego palette. So if larger palettes aren't for you and you like these shades, these are the same shades and formula that are in that other palette. Coming in at number 33 is this one right here from Essence. This is the Positive Vibes Only eyeshadow palette. There were a couple palettes released in this little collection. For me, the only shade that was like a little bit of a dud was this one right here, but all of the other shadows blended themselves really well. These two main shimmers performed really great. I would recommend spraying your brush and then placing it on your lid with the product. You'll get more impact that way, but I thought it was a cute little palette. I do have a discount code. If you shop on Essence Cosmetics, if you shop directly on their website, my affiliate code Steff's Beauty Stash will save you 10% off of your order. And I think this one is really cute. Over the summer, I did a full face of trying new Essence makeup. You guys know I love Essence. I'm wearing one of their eyeliners right now, but Essence does make a lot of products that I enjoy at the drugstore, and they do it at an incredible price point. Coming in at number 32, another option at the drugstore, and this is the NYX and Barbie the Movie collaboration. I thought this was a cute idea. They had like little mini butter glosses attached to each palette. This one over here fell off. I think it's somewhere up here on my vanity, but I thought that was a cute idea. This one is in the shape of a cassette tape, and these are the shadows. I thought that the shadows performed great. You know, it's just, you're gonna need to use smaller brush, so just be careful when you're going in there. I love the color story of this one, that yellow and pink together and the blue. I think it's really cute. And then this one over here, this is the Barbie one, more pink and brown tones, kind of similar to that Tarte palette I just showed you guys. The collection, I don't know if it's still available. Maybe it's already on sale, who knows? But if you're a fan of Barbie and you went to go see the movie and you loved it, I think these are cute to add to your collection. Are they necessary? Not really. I have some other NYX palettes coming up in this video that I definitely think are worth checking out over these, so stay tuned. So coming in the number 31 spot is a palette that just dropped a few days ago, and I'm talking about the Blend Bunny Forget Me Not palette. This is a face and eye palette, a multi-purpose palette, very versatile. I like how this opens as a book. You do get a full-size mirror. So up here you're getting 12 matte shadows, and then you have 4 gorgeous shimmer shadows at the bottom. This is fantastic Blend Bunny Cosmetics quality, but I think that this palette is more geared towards working makeup artists, towards people who maybe love to contour and sculpt, maybe performers, even brides. But for me, that obviously I love colorful makeup, this just, you know, it's just a neutral color story, you know. This was supposed to be intended for travel purposes, like your one and done palette, also for bridal makeup, and I totally see that. I see the concept, I see the vision. I think it's beautiful, and if these are the shades that you gravitate towards and these are the shades that you work with on a daily basis, if you do more contour than bronzer, which I'm more of a bronzer girl, then, you know, this palette might make sense for some of you, for more of you. I did create a look. A lot of you gave me a lot of amazing, you know, compliments on that look. Thank you so much. I posted the look on my Instagram yesterday, and, you know, I loved working with it. it. I didn't have a problem working with it. Like everything blended out well, but this is just not a palette that I'm gonna reach for all that often. And so for that, that's why it's finding itself kind of towards the bottom of this ranking video. Now coming in the number 30 spot are these little quads right here. This is the Lotus collection from Viseart. These were sent to me in PR, as the Blend Bunny palette was as well. So forgive me if I forget to mention that, but some of these, yes, I did receive in PR. This is the first time I ever got PR from Viseart, and this is the Sakura Lotus quad. I think this is so cute, but again, with these little quads, you're limited on the shades, right? You're limited as to what you can do with it. This is the Rosetta Lotus quad. Again, very neutral. Viseart is more of a neutral makeup brand. They specialize in amazing matte shadows that can be built up, blended out with ease. They are intended for film photography. They are intended for like models on the runway, I mean pictorials, all of that. And then this is the Water Lotus. This is my favorite. The quality is phenomenal. I have no issues with the quality of either of these three palettes. The reason why I'm putting them here in this spot is because, you know, I'm just limited as to what I can do with them. Yes, I can depot them and put them in a larger palette, but I don't ever like to do that, and I rarely do that with any of my eyeshadows. But I think the concept is nice for a brand that mainly focuses on a lot of neutrals. It's nice to see them step outside the box and give us some colorful makeup, and I am down for it. These palettes perform really well. Coming in at number 29, a palette that I just reviewed, and it is the Alter Ego Sakura palette. Love the artwork. I absolutely love it. Those cherry blossoms on the front with the teal in the background. This is a beautiful palette. It is inspired by the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. You do get a full-size mirror over here. I do have an affiliate code with Alter Ego. I believe it is Steff or Steff 10, and that will give you 10% off your order. I did receive this palette in PR. I love this palette. Like, the palette performs great. I would, in a way, much rather have this palette than the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, just because this palette is $20. That other palette was like $67 or $69, and they do the same thing. They really do the same thing. I think you get a little bit more depth in this one. It is also very similar to the Sydney Grace in Mel's Memory Bundle, which I love that bundle. Between that bundle and this one, I would probably go for the Sydney Grace, just, you know, out of respect for Mel Thompson, who sadly passed away a couple years ago. She was an amazing talent here on YouTube, and I miss her dearly. I used to get so inspired and just learned so much from watching her videos. So hands down, I would get the Sydney Grace, but if you can't afford the price tag, and I actually think it is currently sold out, this is a fantastic alternative. A lot of you mentioned that you love the layout of this palette, and I also mentioned you can just take this column by column by column and create a look that way. They take the guesswork out of everything, and for 20 bucks less my affiliate discount code, you can't beat Alter Ego's formula. Coming in at number 28, we have the Wet n Wild and Alice in Wonderland palette. This is a cute palette. Wet n Wild always does just really cute collections. They did send me this in PR. They sent me the PR box. I love it. The only thing I'm like, that I don't like about these typical palettes is that they always include at least one pressed glitter, and actually we're getting two, which are these two right here. But they're not terrible. They're nice pressed glitters. I mean, they really up the sparkle, and if you don't mind working with pressed glitters, then this palette is great. Maybe you can already find it on sale. It's a nice color story while still being colorful. It still has some neutral shadows so that you can anchor your look with, and I think Wet n Wild has been developing, or has on their hands, a really nice formula. I think the shadows last all day. They're really cute. I love to see, you know, who they're going to collaborate with next, but I also want them to collaborate with themselves, because Wet n Wild used to do a lot of cute box set collections, and I used to love picking those up. And so I hope that they kind of maybe start, you know, doing away with like franchise collabs and movie collabs and start going back to their roots when they would just make their own makeup collections, because I would definitely buy that in a hot minute. Now in the number 27 spot is this one from Beauty Bay. This is their tropical palette, which was part of the Sundown collection. At the time that I ordered, I had to order the entire collection in order to get this palette, which I didn't really mind because I got a good primer out of that one. I got a really pretty highlighter. I got this palette. The only thing I'm like not in good spirits with is that plumping lip gloss. Oh my god, like that burned my lips so bad. I haven't used it since and I don't plan to. But this palette, if these are your tones, you have to love red and you have to love orange and yellow, then this is going to be a palette that needs to find its way into your stash. I believe it's already on sale, as if it needed to be. Beauty Bay, like these types of palettes are usually around $18, and then of course when they go on sale, it can go down to like $9, $10, $12 even. Beauty Bay is a UK based makeup brand website, and they do have pretty decent shipping time to the US. I like it. You know, this palette performed really well. I think it's a quintessential summer palette. If you picked it up, let me know. What are your thoughts on this one? Has it been performing well? I know sometimes Beauty Bay can be hit or miss. Thankfully, I've only had one miss from the brand, and this one ain't it. This is definitely worth picking up if these are your shades. Coming in at number 26 is the Gourmand Girls by Cydia Soto Warriors Wear Pink palette. So this palette was in collaboration with Cydia, who is still fighting breast cancer. I think she's on her, gosh, is it her third diagnosis with breast cancer? She's under 30. She's under 30 years old. So Christina wanted to do something to honor her dear friend, and they curated this palette. I think this palette is beautiful. I love the inclusion of that beautiful teal like duochrome shadow. The mattes, they blended out really well. It's just a beautiful palette. I know a lot of you might see Valentine's Day in this. I kind of did when I initially saw it, but also think about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is coming up in October. Pink, of course, is the color. And I think we probably know, unfortunately, at least a handful of people that have been impacted by breast cancer. I know that runs in my family. With my mom, she's dealt with it twice already. I have an aunt, and you know, it's just an unfortunate disease that I really do hope they find a cure for very soon. If you're interested in this palette, I believe this palette has already gone on sale on the Gourmand Girls website. I do have an affiliate code. It is Steff. That will save you 10% off of your order. There is another Gourmand Girls palette coming up in this ranking video, but I just definitely needed to include this palette because this palette was super special, and I'm so thankful that Gourmand Girls collaborated with Cydia. Again, keep fighting the good fight, Cydia. We're all behind you, and I love this palette. So coming in the number 25 spot is Dose of Colors, and this is their 10. She's a 10 palette. This is in honor of their 10-year anniversary, which, by the way, they have a palette collaboration with Trevor. I forget his last name. Something Trevor. Anyway, he's an incredible makeup artist. I plan to get that palette. I think it drops on the 23rd. But this is the She's a 10 palette. This is a neutral palette. And what I've been telling you the past few months is that neutrals are making a comeback. They've been making a comeback in the summer. They're going to continue into fall and even into next year. Be on the lookout for some neutrals with slight pops of color. That's all I'm going to say. This palette, though, I think is a traditional neutral palette. You have like a warm tone rusty shade down here, but everything else is pretty neutral. You have some cool tones, some warm tones. I think you have a little bit more warm than you do cool. I like the inclusion of the matte black. This is like a bone color instead of it being just a solid white, which I don't mind. The palette performs really well, and it's nice to see something from Dose of Colors again. I feel like we hadn't seen anything from them in a while, and this She's a 10 is definitely a 10. So I told you guys you were going to see NYX again. So coming in at number 24 are these Ultimate 16 pan palettes. Are these 16 pan, or are they, let's see, I forget. I thought they were 16. Yeah, they're 16 pan. Yeah. These palettes perform so well. There was 4 different palettes released. I picked up 3 out of the 4. Look at that. Like, this is such an everyday wearable, but definitely like a summer inspired color story. This palette is Paradise Shock. I love these. I love these so, so much. This next one is called That's Bright. Nice mixture of matte and shimmer shadows. Love the purple and green together, kind of similar to what I have going on today. Have a little more blue than purple, but I think it is a beautiful palette. I've used these a few times since initially filming with them. This one right here is my favorite. This is Vintage Jean Baby. I love the blue and brown together. That color combination just gets me every time. It is one of my favorite. I think NYX did a phenomenal job with these palettes. I want to say each palette is like 18 or 20 bucks, but you guys know if you get them on the NYX website, they're always running sales. If you buy them from Ulta, Ulta always has a coupon. I think there's a 20% off coupon right now, and you can apply it to these. So I would look for a sale. I would grab one, grab two, grab them all, but they are definitely worth having in your stash. Affordable eyeshadow at the drugstore that works, that looks great, that performs. You can't beat it. So coming in at number 23 is the collab palette from Manny MUA and Laura Lee, or in particular Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles, both of their makeup brands. And this is the Full Fantasy palette. So both Manny and Laura, they love their neutrals. Like, this collaboration totally made sense. I got the entire collaboration, which included this palette. It included some makeup brushes, which I love. I just used one of them to do this look for today. It included 2 lipsticks, which are a little too light for me. I'll have to use, or I usually use, a deeper lip liner to kind of deepen them up. And I want to say there was a face palette as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a face palette as well. This palette, typical great Lunar Beauty quality. I want to say they used Lunar Beauty's formula because like the packaging is definitely Lunar Beauty, and it performs really well. I love all of the shadows. I mean, it's more neutral than anything. Yes, you have like this fun like shifty blue shade, and you have some purples and mauves in there, but these are the shades that those two wear on the daily. So I can see why they created this palette, the entire collection, and I think they did a great job. So coming in at the number 22 spot, I don't remember if I said the Lunar Beauty was 23. This next one is going to be 22. I don't remember if I got it mixed up, but 22 is Glamlite and Rick and Morty. So I'm not familiar with Rick and Morty, so I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm ranking this palette where I'm ranking it. But you know, I think the color story is great. It is a very large palette, as all of the Glamlite palettes have been, you know, the last couple years. I feel like they're really doing more larger palettes and scaled down palettes. I'd love to see them just do like a solid 16 pan palette. I think that would be really good. Kind of something like what they did with the Chucky collection. I think that was nice. In here, like, you're getting a mixture of matte and shimmer shadows. The quality is fantastic. I mean, it's good. It's great, but I kind of feel like Glamlite is starting to dupe themselves a bit, because we definitely have some of these shadows in other palettes, you know, and it's just, as far as like the arrangement goes, that's why I think they need to start scaling things down a little bit when it comes to these, you know, collections. I would also like to see them maybe not do a collab, and maybe just do like Wet n Wild, you know, just do your own collection. You know, not everything needs to be a collaboration with somebody. Let me know what you guys think about that, and let me know if you picked up this palette. I love the colors. I love colorful makeup. There's nothing wrong with the quality. It's just, I don't know, Rick and Morty. So that's why it's finding itself in the number 22 spot. Coming in at number 21, another large palette, and this one comes from Juvia's Place. This is the Culture 2 palette. So this palette has a lot of shades, a lot of colorful, beautiful shades, but at a great price point, just like Glamlite. Glamlite always gives us an amazing formula. just like Juvia's Place, and they both do it at a very good price point. Although Juvia's Place does scale down their palettes, we get 6 pans from them, we've gotten 4 pans from them, we've gotten, you know, 12 pans from them. Glamlite needs to get on that kind of train. But you know, they usually do a culture palette once a year, at least they have for the last 2 years. They've also done some other larger palettes. I forget the name. What is it? I have 2 of them. But you know, if you're not a fan of larger palettes, because they can get kind of redundant over time, then, you know, I would skip out on this one. Or maybe, you know, you're just starting your makeup collection and you want to dabble in the world of colorful makeup, then this might be something to consider. This you can find in store at Ulta. You can always find it at the Juvia's Place website. You can get it on sale at either places, so I would definitely recommend you try and get this on sale. But it is a solid performing palette, and it has just about every color that you need. I like it. It's been good, and that's why it's ranking in the number 21 spot. So coming in at number 20, surprise, surprise, it's another collaboration with Glamlite. And this is their second go round with Scooby-Doo. I think this is a really cute palette. You have Scooby-Doo up here on the mirror, and then, you know, you have all of your beautiful shadows. I like that we have like our deeper shadows over here in this far right column, and then you have some more mid-tone shades, lighter shades scattered through the other columns. It's a nice mix of matte and shimmer shadows. I thought that the palette performed really well. I did watch Scooby-Doo growing up, but I don't really remember so much of it anymore. So, you know, I mean, it's cute. I bought the Halloween collection. I'm one of those that collects Glamlite. I buy the majority of their palettes, but you know, there are a couple that I've skipped out on. I don't think I bought their Malibu Barbie or their Barbie collection one that came out. I think it was last year, but this one I did. I've had a good time with it. It's just that, you know, I'm getting a little tired of these larger palettes. So that's why I'm putting it in the number 20 spot. Coming in at number 19 is this one right here from Ladybug Glow. I was sent this palette in PR. This is the Pond Lily palette. I also have a code with Ladybug Glow. I believe my code is Steff, and that will give you 10% off of your order. This is a beautiful color story. This came out right at the start of summer, at least summer for me, because that was right around the time of Memorial Day, right before I was just getting out of work. So for me, I consider this a summer release, and I think it's a really pretty color story. I love this green with this like maroon berry tone shade. I like that we're getting some cooler tone shades in this one. The special shadows, the shimmers perform so well. Use some glitter primer with them that will help them to adhere better to the lid. But I think LBG, Ladybug Glow, did a fantastic job with Pond Lily, and I love it. Coming in at number 18, the Mega Size, the collaboration from Ellie Starr and Brittany Huffman, and this is the Bella Beauty Bar Best Mattes palette. I had, and who would have thought, because I like shimmer, you know, I don't like just doing all matte looks. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for them, but if I could do my makeup one way for the rest of my life, I would always include a shimmer shadow. This palette, I created 6 different looks with it. I've reached for it a couple times since, and it performs so well. These are definitely the best of the best. When it comes to matte shadows, you have every shadow you could ever need in here to anchor your looks with, and then go in with your favorite multi and duochromes from your other favorite brands and just, you know, go to town with it. But the looks I created turned out to be 6 matte looks, and I was shocked. I was having such a good time. Like, I didn't want to put this palette down. I could have kept filming with it, but I think 6 looks was more than enough to show you guys how the palette performed. I didn't notice any patchiness. I didn't notice like anything that was hard to blend. I think these 2 ladies, along with Bella Beauty Bar, did a phenomenal job. I love it. Congratulations to all. Coming in at number 17 is a first impression, a brand that landed in my stash for the very first time this summer, and it is this one from Shroud Cosmetics. This is the Peaches and Dreams palette. Love the artwork on the front, and then of course this is the color story. Now, I thought the shadows all performed really great, but because they're leaning more along the pastel lines, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of pastel shadows. That's why it's finding itself in this spot and not actually a little bit higher. Had these shadows been, the matte shadows been a little bit deeper, you might have seen this crack the top 10 because I really did enjoy the formula. I love the shimmer shadows in there. I think it's just a cute palette all around. I think it's the perfect size. I want to say this was sold as a bundle. I just got the palette and the bundle included some really cute earrings. So Shroud, they made a good first impression. I look forward to seeing what they have in store for us for fall because I will definitely be picking something up. Coming in at number 16 is the Koyish Attendu palette from Viseart. I bought this one myself. This is an all shimmer palette and it's a colorful one at that. Again, you can pop out all of the shadows. This is a beautiful palette. Pair it with that Best Mattes palette from Bella Beauty Bar. And oh my goodness, the looks you'll be able to create. This is a stunner. I believe you can find this one in stock not only on the Viseart website, but also on, it could be at Beauty Bay already. And of course it is on Beautylish. I also picked up a lip oil that went along with this new release, this Koyish Attendu collection. And the lip oil, I fell in love with it. I don't have it up here, but it's a really, really nice lip oil. This is a pretty 12-pan color story, just colorful. These shimmer shadows, some of them do have a shift, but it's not like a crazy shift. Like it's not foiled, it's not like in your face. I mean, it's just, I would say it's beautiful shimmer shadows for those of you who don't like full-on multi and duochrome, or maybe can't wear full-on multi and duochrome, like all of those textured shadows. These are less textured and they are very mature eye friendly shadows. I think Viseart as a whole is very mature skin friendly. They're not just for people in their teens and 20s. I mean, their makeup works across a wide range of ages, and this Koyish Attendu is definitely worth checking out. Coming in at number 15 is the eyeshadow palette that I currently have going on, and it is this one from Unearthly Cosmetics. I have a new affiliate code with Unearthly Cosmetics. It is Steff, and that will give you 10% off of your order. This came in the summer mystery box, which is going to be restocking this week. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'll post about it in my community section here on YouTube and definitely over on Instagram. But I bought the summer mystery box. This is from the large summer mystery box, and this is the Get Groovy palette. I mean, it's a rainbow palette, but with a twist because you're getting some deeper shadows in here. I loved it. This palette performs so well. I mean, this is what I think of when I think about summer. You know, I think about bright, fun colors. You guys know Unearthly has a very good formula, and I thought the entire collection was so cute. Also in that mystery box were a palette of 2 highlighters, one of 2 lip glosses, and 1 matte liquid lipstick. I'm wearing one of the lip glosses right now along with one of their new lip liners. Everything I'm wearing, I will have it linked in the description box, so please check that description box. If it doesn't fit, I'll have it in a pinned comment. But this palette is super cute. I love it. Get groovy. I think it is a total win for the brand. Coming in at number 14 is another palette from Ladybug Glow, and this is the Everyday Sparkle palette. This palette was sent to me in PR, and look at how cute this 8-pan color story is. You have duo multichromes on the top row, and then you have all mattes on the bottom. This is your one and done. This is your daily go to work palette. Still fun because you have those shifty shadows on the lid. This is travel friendly. I mean, this is a beautiful shadow. This one, like I'm looking at it from here, looks green. I don't know what it looks like, maroon on camera. I don't know. They have so many beautiful shifts. Again, I do have an affiliate code with them. I believe it is Steff. They'll take 10% off of your order. I think Everyday Sparkle is worth adding to cart. Coming in at number 13 is also a brand first impression, a brand I was really wanting to try this year, and this is from Fantasy Cosmetica, and this is their Fighter palette. This is beautiful. This made a great first impression in my stash. This is a 9-pan palette, and Fantasy Cosmetica is more along the lines of like mythical video games, how do I want to say, like kind of like just tales, you know. I'm not into that genre, so I can't really speak fluently on it, but I think they're producing really beautiful color stories. And for those of you that you're into that genre, this might be definitely a palette you want to check out. I think it is a very nice put together neutral palette. I love this gray up here and also this darker gray at the bottom. Warrior is not a complete matte black, like it's definitely a gray black, and I love that. The brown over here is more of like a neutral to cool tone brown, and of course this beautiful mustard yellow shade and the beautiful multi duochromes that are there in the center. I think Fantasy Cosmetica did a phenomenal job, and they also release perfumes in conjunction with their collections or with their palettes. So definitely head on over there. My affiliate code for them, I forget if it's Steff or Steff10, it'll be down here, and that will give you 10% off of your order at Fantasy Cosmetica. So coming in at number 12 is my very first PR package from this brand, but it's definitely not a new brand to my stash. I've been using this brand for like 4 years now, and it is this one from Lethal Cosmetics. They sent over their Pure Metals and Multi-Chrome eyeshadow bundle with the Empty Magnetic palette so that I could arrange the shadows as I wish. These are all of the shadows. They're dirty because I was playing with it. I was swatching it and stuff like that. But wow, these are stunning. If you have the Bella Beauty Bar Best Mattes palette, it'll pair perfectly with this one. If you have some of your other favorite mattes from Lethal Cosmetics, pair them with this palette. I just love all the shades. I did a live swatch video on my channel, and then I created a look. This palette was so easy to work with. I do recommend some glitter primer, but man, these special shadows just pack a punch. They take an otherwise neutral look to the next level. I cannot say enough good things about Lethal Cosmetics. They are a German-based indie makeup brand, but you can find them here in the US at Camera Ready Cosmetics. That came to me straight from overseas just because it was a PR package, and I'm so thankful because I've been loving Lethal and I've been seeing a change in the brand as far as formula goes, and it's a change for the better because, you know, I've been buying the brand, like I said, for the last 4 years, and over the course, I would say, of the last maybe 2 years, I can definitely see an upgrade in the formula. If you've never tried them out, let this be your time to do so. Coming in at number 11 is the palette I know a lot of you picked up, and it is the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona. So this dropped at the beginning of summer, and a very neutral color story. I like that we're getting kind of more neutralness as far as tones go in this palette. I would venture to say maybe there's a couple cool tones in here, but I like the shadows that she gave us. I think this is just such a beautiful palette. So well done. I love the cover, like the ombre effect, and it's like that soft touch, like kind of like almost like a silicone packaging. You can pop these shades out and rearrange them, but I like it arranged just like this. I don't have a problem with that. I love that we're getting this blue, and then of course like the mustard yellow, the brighter yellow. Love to see those shades in palettes. I want to recommend that if you've never checked out e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Sticks, they pair perfectly with this palette. This was their all matte collection. I believe this dropped last year. There are some beautiful shades that complement this palette to a T, and these stay phenomenally well in the waterline. but this palette is beautiful. I believe it is $67 or $69, but Sephora and Ulta, hey, forgot about Ulta. Ulta now sells Natasha Denona. Wait for them to have sales, because you guys know they're going to be having sales coming up pretty soon to where you can get this for 20 or even 15% off. And I've been seeing that Natasha Denona has been running a lot of sales on her website. So hopefully if you got this more recently, you were able to get it on sale. But I think it is definitely one of her best, and I love it. So now we're entering the top 10, and coming in at number 10 is the collaboration palette from Heather Austin and Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the Resurgence palette. Now, I said this in the video, I'll say it again, bugs are not my thing. The bugs are not my thing. I wonder if this glows in the dark. Like, that'd be so cool if it glowed in the dark. I don't know if it does, but I like that this palette opens up like a book. This is my color story. I love a color story like this. Like, it feels random, but the shades all go together. I love it. I think they did a great job. All of the promo photos they did for this collab were stunning. I didn't get to get the entire collection. That included a highlighter. I think it was a duotone. Like, there was 2 different highlighters, and then there was, I think, some lippies or liners or something like that. I just got the palette, and the palette performed so well. Love seeing a shade like this. I think this is totally unique given that we're getting some really bold, brighter colors. But I think Heather, her vision for this palette, I think Unearthly totally nailed it. It's just beautiful from the way like it opens like a book. I love that. I love that it's small. It's like easy to travel with. Again, if you can get over the bugs, but maybe some of you are bug lovers, then this is definitely a palette for you. But I think, you know, I think it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a great formula, and congratulations to Heather and Unearthly for another amazing release. Coming in at number 9 is Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and this is the Sugar and Grunge palette. I love this. Love the cover art as well. We open this up, pastels, but done right, at least for me, because I need depth with my pastels. Like, if this didn't include this row right here, I probably would have ranked this lower, but because we get some deeper shadows, sign me up. Like, that's why this is in the top 10. I love the Blend Bunny Cosmetics layout. I think, you know, they keep all their mattes at the top, then they put the shimmers at the bottom, or sometimes they do it opposite. The shimmers at the top, then they do all of the mattes below that. But they make it in a way that you could wear each column going down like this as a look. They take the guesswork out of it, and they have an amazing formula. Everybody loves their matte formula. I'm in love with their shimmer formula, but I just think Blend Bunny is just a well thought out brand when it comes to shadow placement. And they always go from light, medium to deep, and then the shimmers to make it pop. I love it. I don't think it gets better than that. Let me know if you picked up Sugar and Grunge. It's definitely one of my favorites, and that's why it is ranking in the top 10 spot. Coming in at number 8 is a relatively new palette to my stash, and this is Ladybug Glow Cosmetics. Once again, this is the Floresta palette. Floresta is Portuguese for forest. How cute is the koala bear? Oh, guys, this palette is just absolutely adorable. This is a year-round palette. Please don't just reserve it for summer, but I think it is so fun. I love this color story, the blue with the yellow together and then the green. I love this cool tone brown shadow down here. I think it is beautiful. Even this like soft peachy pink shade to kind of just throw in the crease. There's so many possibilities. The possibilities are endless with this one. Utilize my discount code or somebody else's if you want to pick this one up and have it in your stash. I don't blame you, but our affiliate codes do take 10% off of your order. They are right now available on Etsy. That is where Amanda, the owner, is selling the brand, but hopefully as they're growing, because they've definitely been growing, they'll be able to have like their own website and stuff. So just give them time, guys. Give them time. This is a very young brand, but it is a hot and up-and-coming brand that you need to take notice of. Coming in at number 7 is the remastered Bella Beauty Bar, the Sun and the Sea palette. Look at the mermaid. Beautiful artwork on here. I love it. I love it. I love it. The color story is just... It's year round. It's year round. I will say that a couple of these shades, I would have probably changed them out for something else, but the looks I've created with this palette have been top notch. Like, it's such an easy palette to work with. She has an amazing formula with the multi and duochromes, the special shadows. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I love looking at this palette. Like, I'm just inspired by looking at this palette. It reminds me of the beach. It reminds me of vacation. I can do something quick and easy, neutral, or I can do something more extravagant, more elaborate. And I think they have a really fantastic formula. Again, I do have a code with them. I think my code is Steff or Steff10. It'll give you 10% off of your order. This is a really nice one to own from Bella Beauté Bar. And I was sent that Bella Beauté Bar palette in PR, like I was number 6 right here. And this is the Mojito, because summer, why not, from Sugar Drizzle. And oh my goodness, one of my shadows just broke. I'm gonna have to fix it. Oh man. So okay, let me be careful. It's this shadow up here. I can fix it. But this is a 9-pan green, obviously predominantly green palette. Sugar Drizzle just does the cutest little palettes. I love the names of their palettes, like everything, like from the shade names to the outer name to, you know, the packaging. I think they do just really cute artwork. They have a really, really good formula. I love this one. Obviously it performs really well. I've used it a couple times since initially filming, but as I was getting all my palettes together for this video, this one did fall. So I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna put it off to the side so I can fix it when I get done. But I believe this one is still in stock. This is the Mojito Because Summer. My code Steff10, my affiliate code Steff10 will give you 10% off of your order. Anything at Sugar Drizzle. I also recommend picking up their eyeshadow primer to go along with this one because it works really well. And it's cute. It's green. That's why it is in the top 10 spot. Okay, guys, we are in the top 5. And coming in at number 5 is Nomad Cosmetics Okavango Safari Palette. Love the packaging. It's like that velvet touch, velvet finish packaging. And here we go, more neutrals, but of course we got some green in there, but green is a neutral. Treat green as a neutral as well. This is a beautiful palette, and I think this accurately represents Okavango. It represents Africa, safari time, all of that. I've just had a beautiful experience with this one, even though it is predominantly neutral, and you guys know I love my colorful makeup. Like, there is something to be said about the formula and how well these shadows coordinate with one another. Nomad has a new palette coming out very soon, and I have it. It's sitting over there, so be expecting that to go up, I think Saturday. Yeah, I'm gonna have it go up whenever they do the reveal. So if you're anxiously awaiting their new Halloween release or their new fall palette release, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned on Saturday. But this one came out right at the start of the summer, and I love it. I think it's an easy palette to travel with as well, and I think it just represents the destination. They are a travel-themed indie makeup brand. I love it. Great job, Nomad. My affiliate code, Steff10. Steff, I always forget, but it'll give you 10% off of your order. Okay, so here is a palette I bet you didn't see coming, and I bet you didn't see ranking this high. And I'm talking about Be Perfect Gravity Palette. Guys, this palette, I didn't do a dedicated video over this. I used it in a Get Ready With Me. This is a gorgeous palette. If you love your cool tone, if you love doing smoky looks, this performs so well. It is a fantastic palette. I bought this straight from the Be Perfect website. They do have a US based warehouse where they ship from. I don't remember if mine shipped from there, if it's shipped from the UK, because they are a UK based indie makeup brand. You can find them on Beauty Bay. I think this might be already on Beauty Bay. I'm not too sure, but wherever I can find it, it will be linked in the description box. I'm a colorful makeup lover, and I love the looks I've been able to create with this cool tone palette. Like, there's just something to be said for a beautiful smoky eye, and this palette does it. And if you want something predominantly cool toned, which I know you guys don't get a lot of cool tone eyeshadow palettes. There's a lot more neutral and warm tone. This Gravity palette from Be Perfect Cosmetics, it needs to be in your stash ASAP. Coming in at number 3 is a palette with such a beautiful, unique color story, and I'm talking about Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny, aka Angela, the Nightshade palette. This palette is stunning. Like, it's just so different. I feel like this is pre-Halloween. I'm just getting those vibes. I know some of you don't see that, but I don't know. There's something about it that I just feel there's a little bit of Halloween in the air with this one. I know Gourmand Girls has a Halloween palette that they'll be releasing. I don't know when Christina said. I think maybe towards the end of September. Not entirely too sure, but stay tuned. I do have an affiliate code. It is Steff that will give you 10% off of your order. Look at the greens and look at the yellows. I love it. But for me, it is the yellow with the gray in this palette. Like, I think it is just such a fun, different take on a palette, and everything is representative of Nightshade, of the flower, the plant, and yeah, there's some plants and terms in here that I was not familiar with, so Christina educated me on that. But I just love the range of this palette. You can get something dark and smoky and then keep it light, a little bit more fun, more summery over here on this side. Whatever the case, this is in stock right now. I would encourage you to grab it. I don't know if they're bundling this one and Spooked together. They might have a bundle option, or maybe that'll come later on. If you missed out on Spooked, that was their first collaboration between Gourmand Girls and Angela, Doodles by the Bunny. That was a phenomenal palette. One of the best Halloween palettes, fall releases of last year. But Nightshade is that unexpected palette that definitely needs a place in your stash. Okay, so the last two top 2 palettes, would you believe, are both from the same brand. I was a little shocked. I didn't know, as I was ranking them yesterday, I didn't know, how everything was gonna fall. But look who's coming in at number 2, Clarity Cosmetics Lost at Sea palette. Love the packaging. This raised embossed lettering at the top. This is going to be a limited edition palette, Lost at Sea, but it's that faux pebbled leathering packaging. This is totally different from the brand. That's why it's a limited edition palette. But when you open it up, I think this is such an unexpected color story. Just like Nightshade over here, I think this is so unique. And for me, what makes this palette different and what really drew me to this palette was these 2 shades here. Actually, this whole row at the top. I love that. I love blue and orange together, blue and brown together. I think it is just such a beautiful combination. But then look down here. You have like these lighter tones, like the pink. Pink has been everywhere because of Barbie, and so has blue because that's Ken. But then you have like a nice neutral shade in here to where you could just use this in the crease and pop any one of these shadows on the lid and call it a day. I love it. I love it. Again, this is just a limited edition palette. This is not going to be their new packaging style by any means. This palette and the packaging was especially formulated for this particular palette, and I think it's beautiful. I think Clarity Cosmetics has one of the best indie makeup brand formulas, at least that I've tried. I do have a code. This was sent to me in PR, but my affiliate code with them is Steff5, and it'll give you 10% off of your order. They have once again started to accept affiliate codes. They had stopped for a while when it came to eyeshadow palettes, but I think, because everything has kind of leveled off, they are honoring affiliate codes again. So be sure to take advantage of that if you've never tried the brand before. They are undergoing a reorganization. They are trying to restructure themselves as a brand. They're trying to improve upon their formula, improve upon customer service, and I can see that. Like, I can really see that, and I applaud them for doing that. And they take the feedback that you give them very seriously, and they're making changes. And you all said you wanted them to scale down their palettes, make the pan sizes smaller, that is an answer to your feedback. And with that said, coming in at number 1 is a palette that I took on vacation, and I get so happy whenever I look at the inside of this palette, and it is the Clarity Cosmetics Aloha palette. I love this one. I love this one so, so much. This is a 16 pan, beautiful, colorful color story. I mean, if this doesn't give you vacation vibes, beach vibes, I don't know what does. I took this with me to Turks and Caicos. I filmed with it, like did some Instagram reels and stuff out there in the sand with the beautiful crystal clear water. I mean, this palette belonged at that beach. It belonged in that beautiful environment. It's just a stunning palette. Nice mixture of matte and shimmer shadows, duochromes, multichromes in here. It is just, it's beautiful. And when you love colorful makeup, you want to see this. You want to see this colorfulness in your favorite palettes. And with Clarity Cosmetics, they always do such a beautiful job. Like, they are, no joke, one of my favorite indie makeup brands. I've bought the majority of Clarity Cosmetics palettes on my own. These two right here are the only ones that I've ever been sent in PR. And I just started getting PR from them in May. But I've had my affiliate code with them for a while, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what the brand has in store for us for the last chapter of 2023 and the new year 2024. All right, guys, so that wraps up today's video. Those were, how many palettes did I rank? Where's my list? 37 palettes that I tried in summer of 2023. I know we still have a few more weeks to go, but do keep in mind a lot of the releases that are going to be coming out are going to be more fall releases. So that's why I am making the cutoff for summer now. And actually, the day that you're watching this video is probably the first day of school for a lot of you, especially here in Texas and maybe in the South. Maybe it's your first day going back to work. Maybe it's just signifying a new beginning. Maybe you're starting a new job that has nothing to do with education. But I know for me, this is significant of a new beginning because this is the first back to school experience that I do not have to participate in, and I am so excited. My whole life I've participated in back to school either as a student or as an educator, and I am happy to say that this is my full-time job. I couldn't be more excited, and I hope this ranking video was able to help you make some decisions. I want to hear from you now. What are your top 3 palettes of summer 2023? Or what are your bottom 3 palettes of summer 2023? Did my favorites make your list? How did they fall? Leave it all in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is y'all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink that water, and I'm going to see you all very soon. Bye.